Right. Well, thank you everybody who registered for today's Partnerize Partner Perspective with WickFire. We're very excited to welcome Katie Hall, the Chief Operating Officer of WickFire. Today, Katie is going to introduce us to BuyersGuide.org and Coupon.co. These are two of WickFire's top web properties in the comparison and coupon space. Katie, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll pass it along to you. Prior to starting, anybody who is on the line, this webinar will be recorded and we will be sending out a thank you email to all registrants. You should receive that in your inbox tomorrow. Anybody who has questions during the presentation, please utilize the Q&A tab on your toolbar, and Katie will address those at the conclusion of the presentation. All right, Katie, it's all yours.
Great. Thanks, Sean. I'm Katie from WickFire, and thank you all for having me here today. I'm very excited to give you either an overview or a refresh of our two main consumer-facing web properties, depending on whether you've worked with us before. This will either be new information or an update on all the stuff that we've been up to in recent months and years. All right, so a quick overview of WickFire. We advertise for over 3,000 e-commerce partners. That's a lot. It's spread across both of our sites, and it lets us basically be extremely flexible and nimble in working with anyone from the smallest mom and pop e-commerce stores to to the biggest players in the space. And sort of be, proportionally successful, I think, for both. We've been recognized many, many times kind of in the performance marketing space, in particular for our automation and technology development. We were a finalist for 4 consecutive years in automation and technology categories by the International Performance Marketing Association. We've also been recognized 2 consecutive years by Microsoft Advertising for kind of being a, sort of an up and coming trailblazer in the space. Last year, we were the runner up for Microsoft's Advertising's Rising Star of the Year. And this year, I personally was very excited to be recognized as a finalist for Microsoft Advertising's Trailblazer of the Year. And this last bullet is the big one. We actually just passed this hurdle in the last quarter. So this is new and very exciting news on our front. We have generated over $1 billion in referred sales for our partners. And that number has grown dramatically in the last couple of years with COVID, and frankly, even in the couple of years before that. But this was a really big milestone that our team has been so excited to hit and be able to kind of shout from the rooftops. So I'm trying to get the word out as much as I can, because this was such a big hurdle for us to get over. So how have we done that? Our 2 main consumer-facing web properties are BuyersGuide.org and the Coupon.co. And they work together, but they're each focused on reaching consumers at slightly different phases of the purchase funnel. On the comparison side, BuyersGuide.org is designed to really reach consumers at the very, very first stages of making a purchase decision. So we focus on consumers who have expressed some sort of purchase intent or at least purchase interest, but haven't really decided on a product or a brand yet. These are consumers that are kind of at the research and analysis stage, thinking about potentially making a purchase, but not necessarily committed to even researching a specific option at that point. And what we do is we put as many or as few as we think are going to be relevant to the user options in front of them. Usually on most of our comparison pages, this is somewhere between 10 and 12. That said, depending on the category, it might be as few as 3 or as many as 30 or 40 if we have kind of a really broad category with a lot of deep content. And we rank them, put them in front of consumers, and basically give them what we think are the most critical pieces of information that they're going to need to make a purchase decision. Ideally, we are able to satisfy kind of their need to research and evaluate different options very quickly and move them along towards making an actual purchase not bog them down and, the kind of decision paralysis, anxiety over decision making that I think we all face in the online marketplace of limitless options, and really kind of tailor our recommendations to what users are going to find helpful and be the right fit for them. On the Coupon Co, we focus on users that are slightly further along kind of in the purchase funnel. These are users that have already identified a brand and potentially even a product that they want to purchase from, but they're really looking to make sure that they're getting the best price before finalizing whatever purchase they have decided on. So that's where we come in to target these discount shoppers and really kind of put deals in front of them. Or if there are no deals, just make sure that they've sort of, again, satisfied that need to research and price compare and can move along kind of towards the actual final purchase. On the Coupon Co, we drive conversions for deal sensitive shoppers. We focus there on brand plus coupon and discount queries. So on BuyersGuide, and I'll talk kind of in more depth about this as we get into kind of the user funnel. On BuyersGuide, we might be looking at someone that's Googling vacuum cleaners, and that's kind of their search query that we would target and then get them to our site. On the Coupon Co, we might be looking for someone that's targeting Bissell coupons, right? They're looking to buy a vacuum cleaner from Bissell, but they want to make sure that they're getting the best deal possible. And that's where we kind of hit that user. On BuyersGuide, we're sending users to a page comparing lots of different options. Usually in virtually all cases, there's going to be more than one brand on any of these pages. On the Coupon Co, it's not that, right? The user's already kind of chosen their brand. And so we're sending users to single merchant pages. You're not going to get bogged down in losing any consumers that hit our site through brand plus coupon queries to competitors. And we're really just focused on kind of satisfying, again, that need to make sure that users are getting the right price before they can make a purchase. So I'm going to kind of start by talking in a little bit more depth about BuyersGuide. And here we're driving about $30 million in revenue to our partners every month. The big question that I often get asked is how much of that is Amazon, because many product comparison publishers are actually really driving virtually all of their sales to Amazon at this point. And I think that we have really stood out as being an alternative to that, where we are able to successfully drive traffic to non-Amazon product destinations, which is no small feat, and took a lot of work sort of on our end to get right. Amazon is a good portion of our traffic, but it is certainly not all, and in fact is not even the majority of sales that go through BuyersGuide. We reach about 40 million users a month in search queries, right? So users that are on Google, Bing, and Google and Bing partners, where they're looking for some sort of a product and looking for kind of recommendations on what might be the best one for them. Of those 40 million search users, we were able to steer about 4 million of them to our site. There they have about 600 plus comparison pages to choose from. When you include our sub pages, which I'll get to later, it is much, much higher than 600. We're looking at really thousands. And we have over 10,000 products and services all compared in one place on BuyersGuide. You can see a couple of categories, pet food delivery with an adorable dog highlighted very prominently on our homepage. But we have virtually every product that you could possibly be looking to buy. And I say that not lightly. I have literally learned of products and their existence from our site and finding that we have comparison pages for products that I have never even heard of. The scope of content that we've developed has been extremely comprehensive. It would be pretty hard to find a product category, I think, that we do not have covered at this point. Although if you find one, I will eat my words and we'll explore it. So again, we're talking about kind of helping brands convert shoppers higher in the purchase funnel with these early consumer interest search traffic. We have kind of some examples here of traffic that we might buy: best vacuum, baby monitors, best mattress. Is it all product searches, right? So vacuums and blenders and things for your home? No, in fact, it is not. We have plenty of verticals that are really strong in software comparison, like antivirus or VPN. We have verticals that are really strong in insurance, which we're looking to kind of break in now. Pet insurance is a really big one. You'll see it on our homepage, and we're looking to break into car insurance, renters insurance, homeowners insurance, and a couple of other categories really over the course of this year. We're also particularly interested in exploring financial products comparisons. We have online banking that has been launched, tax software that's live. But really, I think we've kind of just kind of gotten to the tip of the iceberg on that, since that's such an important product for so many people, and potentially a really good fit for our comparison pages. I'll talk a little bit more about the content on our comparison pages, but in general, it's worth noting that traffic is optimized using our proprietary value index, which helps users identify the right products for them, and also tries to optimize our pages so that we are able to better monetize them, which allows us to reinvest the money that we make through our advertising partners into more traffic through Google and Bing. I always kind of say that what we're really looking for on verticals when we launch them is sort of that first penny of profitability. We want to make sure that we're not losing money on the traffic that we buy out of pocket from Google and Bing. From there, once we get to that first penny of profitability, then we are just looking for scale. We are looking to buy as many users as we possibly can to hit our site, with the idea that hopefully there is, some very, very small margin kind of on that, which then we can use to kind of reinvest and try to buy some more users. Using our ranking algorithm, we're able to identify and boost top performing products for our partners. Does that mean that it happens overnight? A lot of the time people kind of want to know, okay, well, I launch and, will I be in your top position, by the end of the week? The answer is it does take some time to build up history, but we are typically usually looking for more recent data as being more important. So it actually can happen very quickly. Usually we can get a product up and live on our site within a couple days to maybe a week at the kind of absolute outset. And then from there, you can imagine that it will probably take about a week to a month to kind of ramp up, and for you to get a sense of kind of where your product fits on our site at whatever kind of parameters we launch with. From there, it's really an optimization game, and we're always looking to sort of tailor commission rates, tailor content, and try to sort of improve performance that way. So here's a user path that is a pretty typical one for BuyersGuide. We've got a user that's looking for best meal delivery service. And I just realized the slide's a little bit dated. It's now 2022, only a couple of weeks in, but I did miss that in going over this. But that user sees an ad for BuyersGuide that directs them to our meal delivery comparison page. We run, again, kind of ads on product review and comparison related search queries. Everything from, best meal delivery service, which would be an absolute core, to things like, are meal delivery companies legit, compare meal delivery services, or just meal delivery, right? It might kind of be as broad as, a user that's just sort of interested in this broad product category, which we kind of take as a proxy for the idea that they might potentially be interested in purchasing one. A customer types in the search query, clicks on our ad, and is driven to a review vertical optimized to drive sales. What you're looking at kind of on the right side of this slide is really kind of our core typical kind of comparison page. But the next thing that I wanted to kind of show you is what you might see kind of at the bottom of the page. And this is not the, top 3 recommendations, which are what most users are kind of interested in. But we're constantly looking for ways to make our pages more compelling to users, to show them, more information, kind of aid those people that really want to get into the, nitty gritty of a decision and compare a specific product or feature across lots of different retailers. Many users don't get this far on the page. That said, for the ones that do, we also kind of want to make sure that we give, that kind of really comprehensive information to them, to let them answer the questions that they have and not, kind of lose them to, again, the online decision-making paralysis. So you'll see 2 elements to this page that I wanted to kind of flag very notably. So the first one is we also considered 20 others. I said that we had 10 to 12 merchants that are featured on each of our comparison page. But in the last year, we decided to kind of also focus on highlighting partners of ours that are not in the top 10. So this, a lot of the time, if it's a really big category for us, or potentially kind of a, just where we have a lot of content, we might have not just 10 or 12, but in fact, 30 or 40 different merchants that we have developed some content around at different points over the last, 10 years or so that we've been working in this space. And we really wanted to make sure that both users that were seeking it had access to that content, and advertisers that maybe aren't kind of high performing enough to get into the top 10 still have some way of kind of getting referral traffic from our pages. So we built kind of at the bottom of our comparison page this. We also considered 20 others, and basically rank sort of in order of performance. We'll see, the next 4 after the top 10 or 12. And then you can keep scrolling through it and see basically all of the merchants that we have ever generated content around for this vertical. That was a really exciting development, and we're finding that users engage with it, not a ton, but incrementally. And so that's a success story in our part. The other piece of this that we have gotten a huge amount of traction out of, although it's fairly heavy lifting on the content development side, is this grid, this comparison grid, where users can see different features of different mattress companies, or different mattress products, and compare them, not just one merchant over another merchant, but actually kind of side by side, look at how they stack up against each other, whether that's financing options or trial periods or shipping times or shipping costs, kind of all the different things that a user might want to compare. And again, this is heavy lifting. We really kind of only roll out, kind of both these also consider options, and certainly the grid for very high performing verticals. That said, we've seen great success across a number of different places that we're using this. One place that we saw a lot of success with this in Q4 is in our computer and laptop comparison page, where people really want to do a lot of kind of in-depth research and look at specific feature comparisons across different laptops or desktops. We saw kind of huge volume there and a lot of engagement with kind of this grid content, particularly kind of around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and through the holiday season. So our comparison pages, right? We've got flexible and dynamic content aimed at giving users the best information that they have to make purchasing decisions. Our placements, again, are based on algorithmic re-ranking to put the most relevant products in front of each user who lands on our site. I showed very quickly back here, I'm going to go back to it just for 1 second, this sidebar content, which it might be a little bit hard to see, but basically this is, even if you land on a generic meal delivery page, there are lots of different subcategories of meal delivery services that you might potentially be interested in. Maybe you want a meal delivery kit that's tailored to diabetic or keto diets or vegetarian, or all of these different subcategories. Even if a user comes in on kind of one of these more broad, just, hey, they're looking for meal delivery, they might actually want a vegetarian meal delivery box. And so we make that really easy for users to kind of sub-select down into more relevant information and a more relevant set of products to what they're looking for. We're also continually A/B testing content development and new ways of showcasing information. The kind of sidebar here is sort of everything all at once, but a big development priority for us this past year was to actually kind of allow different pieces of our layouts to be shown and hidden just at the per category level. So we can flip on the grid if we think that it's a vertical that potentially warrants it, or if we have a lot of extra merchant content that we want to showcase, we can flip on also considered. We can change our navigation around. We can just kind of show and hide lots of different features of our pages, depending on what makes sense for that vertical and for that purchase category. All right, and that's my quick overview of BuyersGuide. Next steps, if you are looking to launch a campaign with us, we are constantly evaluating new partnerships. Launch opportunities if we don't have a category, which I would suspect that we probably do at this point, would depend on search volume, product fit, and consumer brand recognition. If we have a live vertical that you'd like to be featured in, or if you were already running a campaign with you and you're looking to optimize further or get more aggressive in the space, just reach out to us and we can put together a recommended strategy. We've seen brands kind of at different points in their life cycle be extremely aggressive about trying to gain a lot of new users, or not, just kind of depending on where they are. But just because we worked with you in the past, if you are looking to really ramp up, that's always a conversation that we're excited to have. Okay, and then I will talk briefly through our coupon site, which is particularly sort of robust in the number of partners that it works with, because we can work with, again, a wider variety of e-commerce sites on the coupon side. And on BuyersGuide, you know, with rare exceptions, right, you really have to be in kind of the top 10 of your product category. On the coupon side, it isn't really that way because we're only sending users to kind of single merchant pages. So it isn't quite as high of a bar to get listed. The Coupon Co has about 700,000 page views and about 450,000 unique visitors. Age is about half between 18 and 44. Gender is about 50-50, slightly skewed to female. Geography is 86% North American. That does mean that we have some international campaigns for the Coupon Co, which is generally not something that we pursue on BuyersGuide. There are occasional exceptions to that and really only for Canada on BuyersGuide. But on the Coupon Co, we can run campaigns in Spanish, French, Portuguese, German, and I think Japanese. So we have actually kind of a lot more opportunity for international engagement on Coupon. Our device breakdown is largely desktop and mobile. Tablet is small and becoming smaller every day, but really kind of 50-50 between desktop and mobile, which means that we take mobile as seriously as desktop when we're designing layouts and optimization strategies. The Coupon Co largely works with advertisers on TM Plus partnerships. So that means that we'll bid on coupon related search queries using the brand name plus this is sort of a basic list of coupon related queries that we might target. Placements will direct users to a branded merchant page on the Coupon Co. We focus on driving conversions, reducing shopping cart abandonment, and increasing AOV through targeted promotions. We offer kind of a lot of different tools for merchants to be able to understand which coupons are performing on their site, both using the same technology as BuyersGuide, algorithmically ranking coupons so that we can put ones in front of users that are more likely to be useful and effective. And also we can provide, breakdowns of which coupons users are engaging with from our pages that are often helpful in allowing merchants to kind of decide what offers they want to place in the future. We also on TCC allow for content placements, and that includes both homepage exposure. So we've got kind of this sort of top of page kind of carousel that we feature about 5 merchants on every week, and these rotate but can last multi-weeks. And then we also have kind of additional opportunities to be placed on our homepage. I think that my slide over here, had kind of this top merchant section right here, where merchants that we're working with successfully can be placed. And we also have a TCC blog, which can highlight specific offers for a brand. This is a Black Friday post that we did for a great band that we work with, a denim brand called DL1961. And we're able to kind of pretty quickly create blog posts that target great deals that brands are offering. On the Coupon Co, again, kind of next steps are a little bit simpler. We can test a TM Plus coupon campaign for just about any advertiser as long as you approve us bidding on those keywords. Does that mean we can always keep running? Not always, but that said, we can be very broad in what we can test on TCC. If you're already working with us and again looking to optimize, we can definitely sort of evaluate opportunities there. If you're open to doing commission rate increases, specialized offers for us, which are, kind of exclusive coupon codes are usually the kind of main way that we would drive sales that way, or giving us exclusive TM Plus bidding rights, we can offer value placements, including homepage placements on the Coupon Co and blog posts on TCC, and potentially even kind of crossover blog posts on our review site. Last but not least, I wanted to introduce our wonderful team. Anyone on this slide would be happy to hear from you. Chelsea, Jennifer, and Matthew work primarily on the Coupon Co and are great points of contact if anybody is interested in either launching or optimizing around a TCC campaign. Matt, Ryan, and Emily work on the buyer's guide side on kind of non-household products. So kind of on insurance and kind of those software products and delivery services, subscription boxes, kind of all of those different categories. And then Jose and Mason are primarily on the kind of consumer product side. So if you want to optimize around blenders or microwaves or anything really for your home, they would be the people to reach out to. I'm also happy to hear from anyone who's interested in working with us, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction to who you should talk to on our team if you want to reach out to me as well.
Katie, thank you so much. That was a fantastic presentation. It looks like we have a few extra minutes here that we could get some questions in from some attendees. So if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to submit them through the Q&A at the bottom on your toolbar. We had one question come in from Fernando, and that was just if the recording would be available. And yes, Fernando, the recording will be available. You should get an email tomorrow. It will include the deck as well as the recording from today's presentation. So let's give it about a minute and see if anybody has any questions they want to submit. And Katie, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Great presentation.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's see if we have anybody that wants to ask any questions. We'll give them about a minute. Well, Katie, it doesn't look like we have any questions for you today, so I'm going to assume you might get a couple emails with some questions after the presentation. So once again, thank you so much for presenting. Thank you to everybody who joined today, and keep an eye out for your email tomorrow with all the assets included. Katie, thanks again, and I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.
Terrific. Thanks, everybody.